Hello everybody. Welcome to lesson 1 on Grandmaster Cinquante's Lohan Short Forms. Alright, today we're going to start with the most basic 1 and 2, okay? And this is where we'll learn some of the most basic forms stance-wise in Kung Fu. Grandmaster invented these when he first came here and started teaching so that people didn't have to jump straight into complex forms and they could learn some stances and learn some basic punching and kicking before it got as complex as maybe a tiger form or something like that. So again, these are Grandmaster's Lohan Short Forms. There's 108. We focus on the first 30. Today we're going to focus on the first 2. Okay, so we're going to start by showing you the Lohan Short Forms number 1 and 2 in full so you can see where you're headed by the end of this lesson. Then we'll break them down into stances and basic techniques. So far in from our natural stance. So the basic stances and moving through them in our Lohan Short Forms, okay? We're beginning with 2 basic stances. Our natural stance, which you see all the time. My feet are parallel, about 1 foot to 1.5 foot distance apart. All right, my knees are bent, my back is up straight. Natural stance. My weight here is even on both feet, okay? The second stance is my bow stance, okay? Very similar to a Warrior 1 and Warrior 2 in yoga, right? My thigh is flat on top. I have heel to arch alignment. My back is up straight and I'm leaving my core free to turn my hips, really pressing and rooting down through your heels, okay? Now stepping from natural stance to bow stance is the first thing we do, all right? So in my natural stance, I bow. Notice I'm wanting to use my hips always to initiate my movement. I turn that foot open by rotating my hips slightly, and then as I step out, my hips turn and I step into that bow stance. All right, again, keeping my focus in this area, holding everything at the same time as I press down into my heels, okay? Now to step back up to my natural stance, I'm gonna lift from my center and let that foot come right back up into my natural stance, okay? So again, as I step out, I take my foot that I'm leaving behind and turn it open, and then my front foot slides out as I sink down and press my heels. To come up, I draw my center right up to my heel. Okay, moving from a natural stance to a bow stance. Now, let's do those short forms again, 1 and 2, and see if you can see that movement. All right, from my natural stance, I bow, and as I step out, I turn my hips, block, and punch into a good bow stance. All right, and then I block and turn, staying in a bow stance, turning my hips again as I block down. All right, then I step through to my bow stance. Draw up and then down. All right, now moving to some of the techniques from our Lohan Short Forms, we have a couple of basic punches, right, and a couple of basic blocks. The very first thing we do, and you'll find this is pretty consistent throughout Grandmaster Shaolin, is we block, right? Using the outside of our forearm, I block. And you'll notice that I'm incorporating a turn of the hip and a turn of my foot, getting ready to anticipate my step, blocking with my forearm. Okay, as I step out, I'm going to do what we call a horizontal punch, right, where my backhand comes in. I'm really focusing my punch with these lead knuckles, okay, to protect my fragile hand, all right, and I'm keeping my elbow bent and my shoulder dropped, always, always, always in Shaolin, okay? So I'm going to block, and then as I step out, horizontal punch, okay? Then we're going to see another block with the outside of my forearm as I block up, and horizontal punch again with the opposite hand. Okay, let's do these first couple of Lohans and see if you can spot those techniques. From our natural stance, we bow, step out, block, punch, block, horizontal punch. Now blocking with my knuckles, bang, straight down. All right, step through, back into my bow stance. Okay, so that was block, punch, block down, our first Lohan short form. All right, you guys, here's where our first couple of Lohans really put the challenge together. We've got 3 techniques all at once: a front kick, a twist hit, and a block, all happening at the same time in our second short form, okay? So I'm gonna have you watch it and then I'll break down those techniques. All right, so again, number one, I start, we've seen this, block and punch. Block and punch, block, down. All right, number two, I step into my bow stance, and here I start like number one. Block and punch, block, down. Now I'm gonna block, punch. Now here comes the money. Block, twist it, kick, and back down into your bow stance. Okay, let me turn and do that one more time, then we'll break it down. Elbow, back fist, punch. All right, number two, block, punch, block down, block, punch, block, twist it, kick, back down into your bow stance. All right, so breaking those down, right? Block, twist it, right? Our twist it comes from our temple. So after we have, let's see, I'm right here and I've blocked and punched. My twist it comes in from the side. So still using my lead knuckles, but twisting it, okay? So from here, I block, twist it, right? Block, twist it. Now my back leg comes up at the same time, boom, and front snap kick. My front snap kick, I'm using the ball of my foot to kick, trying to point my foot and curl my toes back, kicking straight in, snapping my kick in, aiming with the knees. So it's kick just like that, okay? All right, so again, from our bow stance, it's gonna be block, twist it, kick, and down, okay? Let's try number one and two a couple more times. From our natural stance, we bow. Block, punch. Number one, block, punch, block down, step through. Okay, number two, block, punch, block down, block, punch, and twist it, kick. Stepping down. Okay, to turn, I look and elbow, back fist, pull punch, and then number one again. Block, punch, block down, step through. Number two, block, punch, block down, block, punch, block, twist it, kick. Step it down. Good. Number two again. Block, punch, block down, block, punch, block, twist it, kick, and down. Turn, elbow, back fist, punch. Number one and number two, one more time. Block, punch, block down, step. Notice I've got my opposite arm and leg forward in these beginning bow stances, okay? Number two, block, punch, block down, block, punch, block, twist it, kick, step back into your bow stance. Good. All right, everyone, that was Grandmaster's Lohan Short Forms number 1 and 2. Okay, we saw some very basic techniques, but some really good stance work in there that you can already start practicing to build strength and flexibility in your legs. All right, our natural stance and our bow stance. Okay, and you can just use those for strength and flexibility in any amount of space for any length of time and get some benefit out of it. Okay, as long as you're breathing, relaxing into your feet, and focused to your center. Okay, our basic techniques that we learned were a horizontal punch, always focusing with our knuckles to protect our hand. Okay, we also saw a front kick, focusing with the ball of our foot and snapping it in. Okay, and we saw some basic blocks. Forearm block to the outside, forearm block up. All right, and then remember the twist hit, the one that maybe is the hardest to learn at first. Twist hitting in with those knuckles. All right, so practice on your own when you can. Look forward to some more videos. We'll do the rest of these until we get through 30, and enjoy your practice.